CEO panics without a translator. Then the black janitor's daughter closes a $1 million deal. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. The CEO was sweating. Across the boardroom table sat a group of high-profile international investors, none of whom spoke fluent English. The translator they'd flown in had just canceled at the last minute. Millions were on the line. Panic set in. Then, from the hallway, someone suggested the janitor's daughter, just a teenage black girl who often waited for her dad after his shift. Laughter echoed, until she stepped into the room, calm and composed. What happened next would leave every executive speechless, because sometimes the most overlooked person becomes the most unforgettable. Watch until the end. Danielle was 17, a straight-A student with a gift for languages and a quiet strength. Every evening after school, she waited in the lobby for her dad, Mr. Roberts, the janitor who'd worked at the company for over a decade. Most of the executives barely noticed her. She was just the janitor's kid, invisible among glass walls and designer suits. But what they didn't know was that Danielle had taught herself Mandarin, Spanish, and French just for fun. She'd grown up translating bills and medical forms for neighbors, her father's co-workers, anyone who needed help. That afternoon, as she quietly sat in the lobby doing homework, tension began to rise upstairs. A multi-million-dollar deal with international investors was on the verge of collapse due to a last-minute cancellation of the translator. And while panic broke out behind closed doors, Danielle continued solving math problems, unaware that fate was about to pull her into the spotlight. The boardroom was in chaos. The translator's flight had been canceled. The CEO barked into his phone, and his assistants scrambled to respond. The investors who had flown in from Beijing waited silently, confused and unimpressed. Time was ticking. One junior employee, nervously peeking through the glass, whispered, "Danielle speaks Mandarin." Another scoffed, "The janitor's daughter? You're joking, right?" But with no other option, someone ran to get her. Danielle, startled, looked up from her textbook. "They want me to do what?" she asked quietly. Her father, wiping sweat from his brow, looked torn between pride and fear. She walked toward the boardroom, heart pounding. When she entered, silence fell. The men in suits looked her up and down, skepticism in every stare. The CEO hesitated, then said, "Can you translate?" Danielle nodded. She listened closely, interpreted with precision, and delivered every nuance with confidence. The investors leaned forward, surprised. A few even smiled. The energy shifted. She translated their concerns, their terms, and their expectations flawlessly. And as the conversation flowed, the deal began to resurrect itself. The CEO leaned back, stunned. The same girl they never noticed had just salvaged a contract worth millions. No one interrupted her. No one laughed now. The room erupted in applause. The lead investor stood and personally thanked Danielle in Mandarin. She responded effortlessly, earning a bow of respect. The CEO, still processing, looked like he'd seen a ghost. Minutes ago, he was ready to cancel the meeting. Now, thanks to a teenage black girl most had dismissed, the deal was signed and sealed. But what shook him most wasn't just her intelligence. It was how blind he and his team had been to the potential in someone they'd walked past for years. Danielle didn't gloat. She just smiled, thanked them, and walked out, leaving silence in her wake. The CEO turned to his team and said the words no one expected. "Find her, and get her an internship before someone else does." Danielle went on to receive a full scholarship to a top university, majoring in international business and linguistics. But the lesson didn't end there. The company, both embarrassed and inspired, launched a diversity mentorship program in her name, finally realizing that talent, brilliance, and leadership don't come from one face or one background. Her father still works in the same building, but now when Danielle visits, every executive stands to greet her. Because the truth is, racism doesn't always shout. It often whispers in dismissals, assumptions, and missed opportunities. And sometimes all it takes is one moment, one underestimated voice to expose it. So ask yourself, how many Danielles have we overlooked? And what greatness have we lost because of it? Let us know what country and city you're watching from in the comments. Take care.